Dear Lexiconites, joining us now on stage, we will have Mr. Neville Shroff, who is the managing partner of Mazda Chemicals and Mazda Exports.
I hear that you've not studied much, but today you sit on what you sit. Tell us about that.
I started off with school just like all of you all started off with school. In the time back, let us say in the very early 70s and 80s, something called dyslexia, which is learning disabilities, was not detectable in India. I did my schooling in India. When I see a number, when the number is 35, I might see it as 53. And if I see it at 53 and I write it down as 53, dyslexia is a disease. So it was very difficult for me to get through. But that did not demoralize me to give up on life. So each one of you has a specialty. Try and read your minds. Try and find out what is there in you which is special. I found out what I could do by isolating myself. It is very important to isolate yourself.
So, being from such an accomplished family, I'm sure you must have started as a senior manager or working with your dad. How did you start out?
My father was a taskmaster. I hadn't finished school, so he knew very well that I had to start right at the bottom. Let me first tell you that education is extremely important. Today, without education, you will be nowhere. You will be absolutely nowhere. My time was different. Today, education is so important that if you don't have it, it will not prepare you to think. Thinking is very important. Analyzing something is very important. Now, I started off my career, my working career, as at a stage which was below even a peon in my company. Even the peon was my boss. He was my absolute boss, and I had to respect him. And I respect him even today. All that I did for the first few months maybe was make coffee and tea for people and keep the staff very happy. And did whatever work they would give me. Whatever work they would give me, because that was education. You work from the grassroots level and you don't come into your working career at a certain level. There are better chances of understanding and your roots would be much, much stronger. Many a time you have to rewind your tapes. The tapes have to be rewound. You have to find out what you could have done before. And the most important thing, being very humble. Humble is your word. Boys and girls, today I tell you, humble is your word. If you are humble, you will rise to where you want to rise. Owning your own business, you will have to look after every single thing. Having your own business is nothing but sacrifice. Nothing but sacrifice. And I don't want to promise you that if you have your own business, you will be earning more than if you were working for a company. Businesses are small, medium, large, extra small, extra large. That doesn't mean profitability goes in that order. And business has so many ups and downs. It is so demoralizing sometimes. So demoralizing that you work your head off, but you land up with nothing. So think very carefully whether you want to be in your own business or you want to be with a company doing one or two things.
Tell us one trait that you say is very Parsi in you and that one trait that is not at all Parsi.
The one trait that is very Parsi in me is that I eat a lot of food. The trait that I don't have as a Parsi, and that is I don't eat fish. All of you are in the process of learning things. You learn every day. You come to a university because you want to learn. You have the hunger for learn. How will people care for you? Why should people care for you if you don't care for them? So care for one another. Care for one another. Care for the person sitting next to you. Genuinely care for the person, and you will always be helped. Always be helped.
Very quickly, 3 tips for them for their life ahead.
I've already said 1, and that is being humble. 2, caring for everyone around you. 3, whenever you do anything, you take any action in your life, make sure you're not hurting anybody.